This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Friday, May 31st, 2024. I'm Gary Dick. Governor Eric Holcomb and a delegation of Indiana economic and government leaders will attempt to strengthen connections with microelectronics, semiconductor, and energy companies on a 10-day trip to France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. It is the governor's third global trip this year after visits to Brazil and Mexico in April and his 23rd overall in more than 7 years as governor. The trip begins June 8. In southeast Indiana, Florida-based Redwire Corporation will today break ground in Floyd County for a major expansion of its high-tech operations there. The new 30,000-square-foot facility was announced last year to increase Redwire's ability to meet growing demand for in-space manufacturing and microgravity research. Redwire acquired TechShot in Greenville in 2021 and is continuing to expand its presence at the new Nova Park Innovation and Technology campus. U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel have announced they have received all regulatory approvals outside of the U.S. related to their proposed combination. Both companies continue to expect the deal to close in the second half of this year. Valparaiso-based Family Express Corporation is continuing to expand its presence in central Indiana. The convenience chain has announced plans for a $5 million store at State Road 37 and East 135th Street in Fishers. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, our Engage Indiana events take place in every region of the state. Discover when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/engage. Purdue Global has been named the preferred online university and degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Current Team USA athletes and those who have represented the U.S. in top international competition in the last 10 years are eligible for flexible tuition-free education and skilling programs from the Learning Center. Purdue Global Chancellor Frank Dooley.
And they would basically, you're going to get informed that you now have an education benefit available to you. So the way the Learning Network goes, you're going to go to a web page that basically said, you are eligible to have your education paid for if you choose these degrees. And there's about, I think, 70 of them different, and largely reflects our catalog. And then they can come in and they can start talking with basically an admissions counselor who's going to, what do you want to do, Alex? What's your dream? What kind of experience do you have? They might do a battery of tests just to do an interest test to find out where you think you really want to go.
More than 6 landowners in Tell City have reached a settlement with General Electric, which had been accused of releasing hazardous materials in the area. The Courier and Press in Evansville reports the residents sued the company in 2020, claiming the materials found in the soil and groundwater at GE's former manufacturing facility created a negative impact on their properties. The Central Indiana Land Trust has closed on the purchase of an 80-acre property within the Hoosier National Forest, regarded for its distinctive geological features and rare plant life. The trust outbid 2 others at an auction last month for the privately owned parcel. That purchase price, $541,000. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.